Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the match preview for Arsenal versus Everton. I am joined by Sarah Halpin from the Blue Room. There you go, Dave. Straight into it, Sarah. Arsenal away. Not a fixture that generally fills me with excitement because our record is not very good.
When did we last beat Arsenal away?
1996.
Well, there you go.
There you go.
There you go, guys. That's something to look forward to, isn't it?
There you go.
I'm always one for saying about law of averages.
Yeah.
I've been saying this about Anfield, and obviously we're still waiting there. But at some point, Baz, it's got to happen, hasn't it? We've got to go there and get a win at some point. So, who knows?
Saturday.
Maybe it'll be Saturday.
Haven't seen us 2-1 up there a few years ago when Pienaar scored that amazing little dink, and 94th minute they get a deflected equaliser. That day I thought, yeah, a bit like Anfield, we're never going to win here.
That's it.
But, listen, Arsenal they're 11 points ahead of us. I was just having a look there. They've won 4 more games than us. They're a weird side, Arsenal, because on the day, they're marvellous to watch when they click. Going forward, I think defensively they ain't great. They've lost Alexis.
Yeah.
Theo Walcott.
Yes.
But they've done some really good business. They brought in Mkhitaryan and they've brought in obviously Aubameyang.
Fantastic bit of business for them there. Yeah.
Obviously they're Aubameyang's debut is gonna be against us, which is great. But they're obviously 2 players we'll have to look out for.
100%, and I think there's a lot of frustration at Arsenal at the moment. They did, of course, let some top players go to rivals as well. Sanchez has obviously gone to Manchester United. As you just said there, they're only 11 points ahead of us. So, they've sold Theo Walcott to us, scored a brace last night, looked a cracking player. And Giroud's just gone to Chelsea, hasn't he, as well? So they've let a lot of attacking players go. But bringing Mkhitaryan in, I think he's going to thrive at Arsenal. I think he's an Arsenal kind of player. Yeah. And Aubameyang as well, I think, fantastic player. Very worrying that his debut is going to be against us, mate, because they're at home as well. They're coming off the back of a heavy defeat to Swansea, who are pretty much rock bottom at the table. So they're going to be up for it, and their fans are going to be up for it. So not necessarily the best way for us to go in, but of course we had our win last night, so maybe we'll have a bit of confidence going into that as well.
Yeah, look, we were on a poor run ourselves. There wasn't much confidence before the Leicester game. I was confident, but we've like you've just said, we got over. I thought we played well for large portions of the Leicester game. These are different. These are obviously different kettle of fish altogether. The team that ended Ronald Koeman's reign at Everton.
Do we thank them for that?
I'll tell you in May.
That's right, mate.
But I think the thing that day, the game at Goodison, obviously we took the lead. Wayne Rooney scored a worldie. And they equalised just on half time, although they've been by far the better side. Yeah. And then we lost Garner. And once I think they just scored and then Garner got sent off, and that kind of skewered the game. I felt, and it ended up 5-2. But we know that they are fragile.
Absolutely.
And teams have gone there and done okay against them. But what do you put it down to that it's 22 years since we've won? Teams like no disrespect to West Ham, but teams like West Ham have gone and won there, and I can remember Hull winning there in the past and things like that, when they've had arguably better sides than they've got now, Arsenal. Why have Everton never been able to win at the Emirates?
It's so frustrating, and it's the same with Liverpool, isn't it? We see the teams like West Brom beating them and Swansea beating them, and you're thinking, come on, Everton, just come on. I'd even take beating them at home, just beating them at all, at this point. But I think it has to be psychological. I think that's the only explanation really I can think of for it, is that it's so ingrained in them that they go there and they don't get a result, that it becomes very hard. And I think, unfortunately, with Everton, it's like we are intimidated by the bigger teams and the big grounds, and there's certain places that we do go to, and you just can't ever see us getting a result. A bit different at home. If we play some of those teams at home, I do fancy us to get a result. But you look at, say, Manchester City, Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, all those games, Tottenham away, and never go there and think, we're going to win this today, or we could win this today. And that's not a place where Everton should be. You know, we should be looking to go into these games thinking we've got every right to go there and get the 3 points. So I do think a lot of it is up here in psychological.
I think the other two, I mean, City, our record's not that bad at City. United is not great, obviously, but Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal, Tottenham, Spurs, we
don't win there, do we?
No, we don't win there, and it's a bit bizarre. I mean, these, like we've just said, you know, they've got some fantastic attacking players. You know, I like Iwobi, I think he's a good player.
Yeah.
Obviously, you know, you can go through that. So Ramsey always seems to do well against us, but they have got a soft centre, Arsenal. I think. Do you expect? You know, obviously we were quite attacking against Leicester.
Yeah.
Do you expect Sam Allardyce to? I know that you'd gone to Wembley to see the Spurs game, didn't you? And that day, Sam Allardyce tried to make us a bit more attacking, and Tottenham just cut through us. You know, once it went 2-0, it was
every time they went forward, wasn't it? You felt like they were going to score, or they did score.
So do you think that? Do you expect them to be a bit more defensive at the weekend, or do you think he'll look at this and go, "These aren't on a great run of form. They're not great at the back. We can play our own game here and get something," or do you expect them to go almost Anfield-like and say, "Well, if we get a point, it's a great result"?
I think that's the way it's going to go. Unfortunately, that's not what I would like to see. I think you look at teams, they actually have a go at Arsenal. I mean, they were beating Bournemouth, weren't they? It was Bournemouth. They were winning 1-0, and then very quickly they equalised and then went ahead in the space of a few minutes because Bournemouth were getting at them. We've seen that happen. We've seen it happen to them against Swansea the other day. They dominated the game in terms of possession and stuff like that. But they're there to be exploited at the back. And I think that is something that is frustrating for us to watch. When you see these teams and you think, yes, they've got good players. Yes, they're good going forward. But do you know what? If you go there and you actually have a go at them, the chances are you've got every chance of scoring. And I think we're getting better defensively. So I would prefer to see us go there and be more attacking. Start the game slow, keep it quiet, keep them quiet, maybe get the fans frustrated a little bit. And then try and nick a goal off them. I don't want to see us go there and start 3 defensive midfielders and just sit back and wait and wait and wait and take the pressure and take the pressure and take the pressure. Eventually we go behind. I think when you go to places like that and you set up so defensively, you have to keep a clean sheet and get at least a point. What we'd started to see, you know, it worked against Chelsea, it worked against Liverpool in the league when we went there and we were all laughing how we barely touched the ball and they were all over us and we managed to come away with a point because we stuck it out that day. But then he saw us carry that on into other games where we went away to Bournemouth and we started with 3 defensive midfielders and we ended up going behind. We ended up losing that game. So we started to leak the goals doing that. I think we sit back deep long enough, we're going to concede. And the frightening thing with Everton is once we concede, we've seen it's better than it was, but we can capitulate like that. So I think our best terms of defence against Arsenal is to be offensive there and go at them a bit because, as I say, they're there to be exploited. They're weak at the back. Czech's in a bad run of form at the moment. He's there to be tested. We've got to test him. We've got to get some shots on target, and I think we had more shots on target last night than we'd had in, you know, however many hours worth of football. Walcott's going back there. I want to see us have a go at them, Baz.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know whether I'm just burnt from too many poor performances down there that it's like, if we go too open and they just cut us apart, it'll be like, what do we do here? But you're right, you know, if we go and sit back and invite pressure on it, sooner or later you're going to concede, aren't you? So it's about getting that balance right. You see, I wouldn't be against them taking Rooney out and putting Schneiderlin in there to try and shore that middle up a little bit. But whilst keeping Walcott there, so we've got those extra legs on the break. I think maybe he might swap Calvert-Lewin for Niasse and just have a little bit more finesse there. But then that would still give the likes of Tom Davies the chance to press, you know, and try and hit them. The interesting one for me will be Seamus Coleman. He's just completed 94 minutes, his first time, you know, he's played a game. Does he stay in at the week? I mean, I would play him again, but it depends on his recovery. I mean, I'm quite sure he'll be walking like the Tin Man today.
Yeah.
You know, and he'll have had the ice bath and everything else, you know, to try and calm his legs down.
Yeah.
Do we risk him again, or just John Joe come back in?
I would love to see Coleman start again.
Okay.
But again, like you said, it all depends. He's come back from that horrific, double leg break, and I think we have got to be careful with him. We've got to nurture him, because he is, without doubt, one of the best, strongest players that we've got at Everton, and I don't want us to push him too hard for the sake of trying to get a result when, we've got to get to, I think, 40 points. I think we should be, I'm sorry to keep saying, we should be okay now, but once you're not going to look at Arsenal and think that's one where we're definitely going to get a win. I'd like to see us go for it, but if it's at the cost of Coleman, doing further damage to himself, then I don't want to see that happen. So it's a tricky one. I would rather see. I think Everton are such a better team with him involved. So on that basis, yes, I would like to see him start again. But he ran himself ragged last night and he did the full 90. So is his body going to be up for it?
That's the thing. John, like I said, John Joe's done reasonably well. But again, it's how Coleman reacts. If Coleman says, you know what, I feel all right, I think I can play again.
Yeah.
After that, we've got a week, haven't we, for him to recover. But Sam might look at it. Sam Allardyce might look at it and go, you've done fantastically well there. I want to make sure you're ready for Palace at home, because we're going to need you again. And you're going to be up against Zaha maybe, or you're going to be one of our biggest attacking outlets in a home game.
Yeah,
we need to win these home games. And I don't want to say that Allardyce will almost give the game up, because he'll look at it and go, it's Arsenal, but he just might think, he might put Mason Holgate there for all we know and go, you know what, I'm just going to get us to sit and we'll try and get Theo in with an out ball.
And I think that's the way it's going to go. I can see us going there, setting up, trying to get a point, because we got the win last night. So Palace is our next home game. You're looking to get 3 points there. We feel a lot better than if we lost to Arsenal and then win that. We're still looking okay, so I think he is going to be cautious with the team selection tomorrow, which isn't necessarily what I want to see, because firstly, the link up that we've seen and the partnership developing between him and Theo Walcott, I think if you want to get the best out of the likes of Walcott, then you've got to have Seamus Coleman playing. The other part of that is as well, what we've been crying out for all season is some kind of consistency in first team selection. And back four, and I think that back four looked pretty good last night. It's the whole why fix it if it's not broken thing, and these players need to start playing together and building some kind of rapport, and they're not going to have the chance to do that if, John Joe, you're in again, then he'll be dropped again and Coleman's back in, and they've been messed about so much all season that I'd just like to see a bit of consistency and give them time to sort of gel together a little bit.
Yeah, there is that, and that's the important thing, is being able to pick roughly the same team. If we can get 9 players on every week, they're going to be able to build that team spirit. You might have to chop and change the odd one. We might look at Oumar Niasse and think, done a great job for us. He even praised him, didn't he, Allardyce?
Yeah.
It was fantastic. Done a brilliant job for us, but when we get it forward, we might need someone to keep hold of it a bit better, so Calvert-Lewin might do. He might bring Tosin in. He might think Tosin's touch and controls better. We're playing up there, we get Theo round and we'll knock it into him. Who knows? It's those kind of decisions, like, rather than saying, well, we need to take him out, and put them 4 in, because you're right, they will just cut through us. I think key for me is the first 20 minutes.
Absolutely.
Keep it tight. Doesn't take much to quieten the Emirates.
Yeah.
But like most grounds, to be fair, with the home side. But try to not give them any encouragement. Break the game up as much as you can. Be
that's
clever.
It. Don't give them anything to get excited over. No. Keep the new boys quiet as well, because that's something that the fans are going to be up for, isn't it? Having them 2 new big signings, attacking signings come in. They're going to want to be, and the players themselves as well are going to want to do something to get the fans on side early. So I completely agree. We've got to try and keep them quiet, get them frustrated, and then look to maybe build on that. But you look at the team that we started last night, and it was very much an experienced team. There wasn't too much of a feature from the kids, the younger players. Yeah. Obviously Davis was playing, but Kenny wasn't, Holgate wasn't, Beningame, I know he's someone that's used less, Lookman's obviously gone. And I think that actually paid dividends to the team last night, was that we did have that experience there. Then towards the end of the game, when we needed to make them change, okay, we put Calvert-Lewin on because we know what he can do and he can hold the ball up and stuff like that. But I think it worked having that experience. I think maybe sometimes these kids, although they had been setting an example to the rest of them, I think maybe the pressure started to get to them a bit too much, and the panic and things like that, whereas it felt like more of a composed, experienced performance last night. And I wouldn't mind seeing that again, and using the younger players, bringing them in when it's appropriate, and that way we're getting the best out of them and developing them the right way as well, instead of going, here you are lads, all that pressure on you, you've got to go and make this happen for us. And I think that worked pretty well last night. I know it's a completely different game, because Arsenal are that team that on a bad day they're up for the takes, but if they're playing well, they can put 4 or 5 past you on their day. So that's the frightening thing, isn't it?
The good thing is Giroud's gone out the door. Unfortunately, not to us, but he always scores against us. So it's good that and Sanchez, who was absolutely brilliant down at Goodison. Just very quickly, Mangala, would you have him on the bench or you?
I'd have him on the bench. Yeah. I don't think I'd start him.
No.
I think it's going to be Martina at left back. Fair play to the lad. I think he done all right last night. I would go with that partnership again of Keane and Jags.
Okay.
And then I would keep Coleman in at right back.
Would you play the same team then? Would you play that?
Yes, I would actually.
Exact same team.
I would play the exact same team. The only thing dependent on is Umar going to have the legs, because he must have ran about 1,000 miles last night, that lad. So I wouldn't be surprised if we did see Calvert-Lewin come in for him. Yeah. But I feel like, for as much as Calvert-Lewin's great at holding the ball up, and I think there's a real player there, I think he needs to be developed a lot further, but his all-round game isn't there yet in terms of the finished product. I feel much more confident of us scoring a goal via Umar Niasse than Calvert-Lewin.
Yeah.
So if he's up for it, if Allardyce thinks he's fit enough and he's got the legs, then I probably would actually start with Umar with the option to swap that around after, because he put in a shift last night and I think he deserves a start as well.
I always feel like he'll get us a goal by hook or by. I mean, he scored against these at Goodison.
With his arm?
Chasing. No, just the one where he took it off check. That was Watford. By chasing something at 4-1 at injury time, that was dead, and he just carried on and he got his goal. And you just think, you'll do mad stuff like that where other strikers would go, no, the keeper's got it, I'm not bothered. He was, I don't care, I'm coming at you and check. Tried to be clever and he knocked it in the net. So that's
it. That's what he'll do, isn't it? There's always that possibility with Umar Niasse on the pitch. Anything goes and anything can happen.
Anything can happen. Anything can happen. There you go. Who knows? Well, what's your I don't like asking for predictions because you go.
Do you know?
You don't have to give it.
I'm gonna say 1-1, and I'd be happy with that. Very happy with that.
I'd be delighted with 1-1. We get a point. I'd be delighted. You're right. They're there for the taking, but if they click, they could destroy us, because that's what the kind of side they are, aren't they? But
absolutely.
We've got basically, the way I'm looking at, 3 wins. There's 13 games to go, we need 3 wins. That's how I'm looking at it. And I know people will say that's quite negative, but let's get to the 40 points, and then if we've still got 6 games, then let's say, how far can we push this,
Absolutely.
What are we, 3 behind Leicester, 4 behind Burnley?
Yeah.
So we
could catch them, but we're in such a strange position of, we win a couple and we are right back up there amongst Burnley and Leicester and stuff like that, but
lose a
couple and you truly are right back in it, because what you've got now is the teams beneath us are starting to string a bit of form together and pick up points, and that's scary. So as much as I'm guilty of it myself, I can get carried away like I've done there. We've beaten Leicester last night and I'm saying I want to see us go at Arsenal a bit, but the main thing is getting to that 40-point mark and then looking of what is our best team going forward, what kind of system do we want, what kind of formation are we going to play, and all that sort of stuff, and get ourselves ready for going into pre-season and next season. But yeah, we've got to get we've got to get to that 40-point mark, Baz, and I think a point tomorrow would be a big point in going towards that, and also just keeping not getting beat again, because I think for morale, just maintaining that would be fantastic. And then going into the next game, it's at home, and we're looking to win that. So it might be a bit of an optimistic one, but I'll say 1-1, and that'd be a great point for us.
Be amazing. I'm not even going to predict it. I think we'll win. Well, yeah, we'll see. Big thanks, Sarah, for coming in and doing the preview.
Thank you for having me on,
Sarah
mate.
on the Blue Room with all the lads, Dave and Matt and Paddy, and not Max and Paddy, that's a different show. But the Blue Room on Radio City, check it out. Thank you very much for watching. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you do. It takes a second. See you soon on Toffee TV.